It's me. Reverse effects. They are ubiquitous in popular music. You hear them all the time. They're the ones that go, reverse effects. They're ubiquitous for a reason though. They work. I'm going to show you some techniques to use them some techniques to make them in Reason, and how I use them in songs and just how effective they can be. So, without further ado, okay, so here I have a track that needs some kind of reverse effects to go from section to section. Let me play it for you. You get the idea. My girlfriend walked in. Anyway, going from section to section, we definitely need some reverse effects. So let's make them. Okay, so first up, going into this break, we have, let's see, this pluck. Nope, not that one. This one, chord. So let's make a transition effect into that. So we'll make an audio track. Command T. Boom. Copy that. Paste it. Color. Same. We'll call this one reverse chord bounced. I'm going to show you the long way. In this case, because it's bounced, I could probably just take a little piece of this audio and copy it down. But in other cases, this track will have effects on it, so you'll need to resample it back in. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the way I set that up is I always have it set up so that my master is as a record source. You're looking here. So with my master as a record source, I can go back to that track. This one here. Oh, see, there actually is something on it. So some stuff on it. So we can now go solo that. Make sure this one's record enabled. And then on this one, make the input the master section. You could do it for an individual track. You could make this track a record source by hitting this button here and then just having the input from this. You could have this set. This one set is the input for this one. Yeah, there. Struggle through that one. But I just like to keep it on the master because then it's just one source and I just use solo to kind of solo the track I want to record. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so this is record enabled. We hit record. So all we need is like a quarter note. So we will hit Y to zoom, Q to go back to our select tool. Let's grab a quarter note. R for the razor tool. Q back to select. Boom, delete that. Let's hear what we got here. Let's unsolo that and solo this. Perfect. Let's add some fades. Cool. So it sounds smooth. Now we're going to reverse this one. And you'll hear it. Oops, no click necessary. I hit C to turn that off. Okay, so that's backwards now. And now what we need is an effect that has a long decay. So a reverb works fine. A delay works fine. A combination of the two works fine. If you want to get fancy with it, you can add movement to the effect, and then when you reverse it, that movement will be reversed. But we'll start with the simple reverse reverb. I made a rack. I'll actually make this available if you want to just download this. If there's an effect that you use all the time, might as well have a rack pre-made for it, so you can just drag it on and get to business. So Quasar utilities, reverse reverb, this guy right here. So I'm gonna actually drag it here, so that it actually populates within the insert effects. If I were to drag it here, it actually will make the combinator underneath. I don't always want it that way. In this case, I want it to actually, I don't know why that's the way that works, but that's just the way that works. So put it here. Boom. So that's a FabFilter Pro R. It's a reverb and a compressor. The compressor is to keep the level of the reverb higher longer, to raise the noise floor. So that sounds like this. We could actually compress this a little bit more. Maybe a little less. There we go. Okay. Now we want to record this. I'm going to do it the long way again, just so you can see it again. You could bounce this in place from here and have the same effect, but I'm actually in the habit of just recording things. You can't mess it up. Sometimes maybe you have an effect on your master that you shouldn't, by the way, but maybe you do, and that's going to affect what you bounce out. Maybe, if you just record it in, you can't really screw it up. That's at least the way I see it, and that's the way I usually do it, actually. So I would actually make another one, another audio track. Copy this. Oops, not that. Copy this name. Paste it. Boom. And then we do the same thing. So just to be sure, we'll do that. And we will take this, solo it, this, Do the same master section. So this as well, make sure that's record enabled, and then bounce, record it all in. Cool. I like to get rid of the actual hit in the bounce version and just have the tail. And then this can all go away. Command delete so you don't get the little dialogue that says, are you sure you want to delete? Want to do that. Okay. So now what we're looking at is just the tail that we bounced out. So if we listen to it. Now when we reverse this, what we get is this. Cool. So that's going to go into our chords. But we don't want it to be here within this block. So let's copy it. Actually, let's cut it. Command X. Hit B to exit the block area, and then it's going to go somewhere here. So we'll just paste it. Hit Y to zoom in. Hit Q to select. Hit S to turn off snap. And let's see what it sounds like there. Oops, let's turn the solo off. Or is there some solo action? There we go, all solo off. Cool, so you can hear, so far so good, but it's a little abrupt at the end there. So what I'll do is bring back, oh no, it actually is gone, that's okay. Let's try bringing it over the bar line so that we're actually making some decay back, if that makes sense. Do one of these. Boom. We could even bring it up in volume a little bit so you can really hear it. So with that one instrument, we're already smoothing over the transition into that section. Now this is something I would do for multiple instruments on this one because it's such a hard change to the next section that the more smoothing the better, I say. Okay, here we have the bass that goes into the break. I already just bounced out a little piece of it to save some time. So there that is. And then on this one, I'm going to use this rack that I made. I think it's this one. This is the one. Let me make sure this is right. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one I'll make available for download down in the description. And it uses all inbuilt Reason stuff. It's really cool sounding. So let me turn this up a little bit. Oh yeah. And real quick so you can see what it is. It's an echo going in. Oh yeah, it's just straight up and down. Okay, so it's an echo going into two reverbs, a pulverizer to squash it a bit and bring it all back up, add some dirt, and this equalizer. Why is it pulling out this mid frequency, I wonder? It must ring. Yeah, it kind of resonates at that frequency. I like it down. Another cool thing you can do with this rack is take any of the parameters and automate them. So I just wrote a quick automation on this filter here and I made it's a high pass filter. It's sweeping down in this rack here. You can see the automation curve here. So if you listen to it, it sounds like, hold on. Okay. Sounds pretty sweet. So here I have it bounced and reversed and in place. It sounds like this by itself. You can see that high pass filter helps it exit. Helps it release, I guess. Here it is in context. Boom. And then you can see how you can go like instrument by instrument through your track, or not instrument by instrument, but kind of pick the ones you want to do these effects with that rack that you can download in the description below. It has a delay as well, so you can take the reverb out and just do a reverse delay using the same technique. I think you get the concept, so you can see where you can use it. If you found this video to be helpful, and if you learned anything from it, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. I need all the help I can get. What else? Yeah, that's it. See ya.